So apparently one of the cameras decided not to record in the previous video. So I've just confirmed both cameras are actually recording. So we'll go ahead and install the second bank together, and I won't edit the video for the first bank. So again, following his process, the lower alignment guide kind of gets mounted so that you can see the holes for the LEDs through it. This is used to space the LEDs up off the PCB. You have to install the LEDs before the resistors, otherwise the guide would sit on top of the resistors and be too high. The flat on the LEDs, which is the short leg, goes towards the bottom of the board, and the long leg goes high. So yeah, following his assembly order in his videos is important for things like, if I put the resistors in first, the guide would sit too high and we wouldn't get the proper depth on the LEDs. So load them up. I've of course got the board up on a raised surface so the legs can just fall freely through. Then take the LED alignment guide itself and set it over the top of them. And we'll tape it in place. This is blue painter's tape. I recommend it as it doesn't leave residue behind. It's designed not to leave residue behind, so it works really well for things like this. So we've got all 8 are in. The pin orientations all look correct. So let me go ahead and walk through those and solder them. I'm going to try to keep my hand out of the way of the camera, but that's kind of a tall order here. I'm getting my head in the way here. I've got to be able to see what I'm doing. Yeah, it's a little different experience here, juggling 2 cameras at the same time and trying to stay out the line of sight of both at the same time. I've gotten pretty good at doing it with 1. With 2, it's a bit more of a challenge, so let's peel this down a bit and see what we've got. A number of them are sitting high, so I'm going to apply pressure with a finger and just push each one up flush. Saw that one moved quite a bit. Now these are all moving quite a bit. I'm not quite sure how I got them in there so bad. They should all now be up flush against the alignment guide. Ooh. That one decided to fall out. Check them with the guide here. They're all flush. The spacing looks good. I think we can walk the other set of pins and solder those. I recommend following, as I said a second ago, his assembly order. The assembly rig used to be able to be slid out from the current set of LEDs, and if you tried putting the LEDs in, I guess you could rotate it around, but you don't want to get it trapped by changing the order dramatically. It's not a good looking solder joint. There's that one. We touch up a couple of these. That's pretty lousy looking. They all look reasonable. Let's go ahead and trim the leads. There's a solder joint I missed. Wow. I may be more tired than I think I am. Should be able to slide the spacer out. It's a little bit tight, but that's okay. Now for the 8 resistors. So these are the 3K ohm resistors, orange, black, red, orange being a 3, black being a 0, and then the red indicating the number of zeros after. So 3 0 plus 2 zeros is 3K. I don't know if this will show up or not, but I've cut the leads different lengths. Makes it a little easier to put in because you can get one lead started and it'll stay started while you fiddle with the other lead. In this case, the first resistor I put in, the gold tolerance band is up. So I'm going to put all the resistors in with the gold tolerance band up. Resistors aren't polarized. They can go in either way. I just think it makes for a nicer looking assembly. Let me get these resistors all dropped through. I seem to have an extra 10K ohm resistor here. I must have cut out 9 rather than 8. Again, perhaps a sign I should take a break. I'm a little more tired than I think I am. Oh, I must have cut out 10. There's actually 2 extras floating around here. No big deal. Hopefully you can see here, by having one leg longer than the other, I can start the longer leg, and it's now securely in the hole, and then go on to the shorter leg. They're all in the correct orientation. I want to add some tape to just kind of hold them in place. Did I miss one? Oh, I'm completely confused here. Did I drop one out accidentally? Somehow I've ended up, so I didn't cut 10 out, I cut 9 out. Somehow I've ended up with an extra one kind of floating around here, no big deal. Let's get some tape on those so they'll stay in place when we flip the board over. Not getting as nice a solder joints as I'd like to be. Might be a sign this tip is finally coming to its end of life. It's seen a lot of use. Hmm. I did catch all 8 of those. They're all flush and square and all in with the tolerance band up. Just as I said, it looks nicer. Don't have to follow that rule. More solder on him. Not my best soldering job. It's acceptable, but not awesome. There's 16 LEDs in. I don't think I followed his order. I think he assembled up. But again, as long as you've got room to get the spacers in, it should be okay. So I think the next step is to apply power and test these. We'll pick that up in the next video.